our decision today, we are moving to APC.
Accord is our party for victory next year.
More passengers on the defection train. Governor Fubara joins the ruling party while Adeleke heads to Accord Party.
Will the Senate approve the request of Mr. President to deploy Nigerian troops to the Republic of Benin for peace mission?
Senate thumbs up President Tinubu's intervention in Benin Republic as ECOWAS okays deployment of military force.
As a result of this training and the changes we are making in the system, we are going to see value for money.
Financial inclusion. Nigeria gets $500 million social investment fund. Good evening and welcome to the Network News. I am Olajide Bello. Joining me from Lagos is Hingino John Adams, while Benny Adams will keep us up to speed with the world of business. Benny, what do you have for us tonight?
Well, looking at the markets from Nigeria to South Africa and Tunisia, the market is in red. But on the flip side, the capital market is ready to inject funds into Nigeria's solid minerals sector. Do stay for details.
All right, many thanks, Benny. And of course, Abadi Adele, what's the latest in the world of sports?
Well, Olajide, is UEFA Champions League night. 2 matches gone already, 7 to go.
All right, we'll keep our fingers crossed. And remember, you can watch this broadcast live on our website, nta.ng/live, and on our other social media handles displayed on your screen. Nigeria is taking decisive steps in tackling security challenges in the country and is acting promptly to address the concerns. Vice President Kashim Shettima said these when participants of the Executive Intelligence Management Course 18 of the National Institute for Security Studies visited him at the Presidential Villa. State House correspondent Abdurrahman Jibrila reports.
This meeting is timely as these representatives of the 78 participants are here to present the executive brief of their end-of-course report as Nigeria seeks solutions to security challenges from sincere partners, and Vice President Kashim Shettima on hand to receive the brief on behalf of President Tinubu. Led by the Commandant National Institute for Security Studies, Joseph Odama, Vice President Kashim Shettima, obviously impressed with the composition of the Course 18 participants, says the significance of the program, which had participants drawn from ministries, departments and agencies within Nigeria and beyond.
As Nelson Mandela rightly said, safety and security don't just happen. They are the result of collective consensus and public investment. And we owe our children, the most vulnerable citizens in our society, a life free of violence and fear. The President will act on your recommendations because they are based on informed analysis and global best practices.
Issues that border on our nation in terms of security and national development. We have provided some insights, and the Vice President has equally giving us some inputs into some aspects of the study which we've carried out.
Presentation of the report titled Non-State Actors and Security Management in Africa, Issues, Challenges and Prospects for Peace and Development. Part of the recommendations made by the participants was the formal harmonization and integration of a country-based security initiative as part of a broad strategy to strengthen the existing legal framework for peace and conflict resolution across Nigeria and Africa. From the State House, Abdurrahman Jibrila, NTA News.
And meanwhile, a call to defend democracy and strengthen institutions tops the agenda of the 55th Ordinary Session of the ECOWAS Security Council, declared open at the ministerial level in Abuja. Garba Natala reports that the ECOWAS leadership commended Nigeria's rapid intervention in repelling the recent coup attempt in Benin, together with Ghana and Cote d'Ivoire.
The future of ECOWAS amidst regional tensions remains a key issue on the agenda at this meeting of West African Foreign and Defense Ministers. For the first time, General Christopher Musa, serving as Nigeria's Minister of Defense, also attended the ECOWAS Mediation and Security Council meeting.
Coup in Guinea-Bissau and the attempted coup in Benin Republic are sobering reminders of the fragility of our democratic gains, and our citizens are understandably very anxious. They are looking to us not just for expressions of concern, but for leadership that translates into action.
Persistent military threat, erosion of electoral infrastructures, and expanding criminal networks were pointed out as major challenges. The leadership also identified elections among major concerns, with youths who bear the brunt of instability in the region.
Let us all remain committed to preserving regional unity, advancing peace and upholding the community's constitutional convergence principles.
At the closed-door session, ministers of member states and their representatives are expected to review and report ahead of the preparatory meeting of the heads of states and government on how to mobilize and meet up with the challenges of the geopolitical pressure of the region. In Abuja, Garib Muhammad Atala, NTA News.
And now, the Nigeria Governors Forum says President Bola Tinubu's deployment of Nigeria's military assets to swiftly contain and reverse the coup attempt in Benin Republic was done in the best interest of Nigeria. In a statement, NGF Chairman and Kwara State Governor Abdurrahman Abdulrazak says a successful coup in Benin would have had far-reaching consequences on Nigeria, as the militant and hostile non-state actors in the Sahel region will take advantage of a further destabilized Benin Republic. The NGF therefore commends the President and the Nigerian Armed Forces for the timely interventions that have helped to restore stability and constitutional order to Benin. And the Nigerian Air Force clarifies reports regarding the diversion of a NAV C-130 Hercules aircraft during its ferry mission on 8 December 2025 to Portugal for maintenance. Following takeoff from Lagos, the crew observed a technical concern which necessitated a precautionary landing in Burkina Faso, the nearest airfield, in accordance with standard safety procedures and international aviation protocols. NAV crew is safe and have received cordial treatment from the host authorities. A statement by the Director of Public Relations and Information, Air Commodore Ehime Jodame, indicates that plans are ongoing to resume the mission as scheduled. And a former Chief of Logistics and spokesperson, Headquarters, Nigerian Air Force, and also a former Defense Attaché to Russia, Air Vice Marshal Latokunbo Adesonya, joins me now to further clear the air on the aviation protocol for such landing. You're welcome to the Network News.
Thank you very much.
All right, now, as the Air Force already explained in that statement, this was an unplanned emergency landing. Now, what is the protocol when an aircraft experiences technical distress mid-air?
The protocol in such situations is usually straightforward, even though no one really plans or expects that it will come. The first thing is to declare emergency. That the pilot declares an emergency by transmitting what we call a distress call. There are two types of distress calls, depending on whether the situation is immediately life-threatening or whether it is urgent but not immediately life-threatening. The moment that declaration of emergency is done, it overrides every other regulatory restrictions in terms of overflight clearance and landing permits. So what follows immediately after this is the request by the pilot to the air traffic controllers. In this case, he is going to request them to vector him or to direct him to the nearest safe landing place. And before doing this, of course, he will have also told them the nature of the emergency. When he is transmitting, he will let them know the nature of the emergency. He will identify the aircraft type, among others. And upon landing, the next thing is to comply fully with the instructions of the host nation while maintaining or respecting their sovereignty. Nevertheless, he also has certain respects due to him as granted by customary international laws. So it is at this point that what we call post-landing protocols then commence, which will be mostly in form of diplomatic talks between the host nation and, of course, the owners of the aircraft, in this case, the Nigerian government.
All right, AVM Adesonya, in your observation, was there any incursion or aggression maneuver that suggested airspace violation, and what should we be doing now?
To make it very clear, the C-130 aircraft that was used in this case is a transport aircraft, and the Nigerian version of the C-130 aircraft is only used and designed for airlift. It does not in any way carry any ammunition that is unable to deliver weapons. So certainly it's not a fighter aircraft. However, what could be deemed as aggression in this case is probably the fact that there was no previous maybe overflight clearance or landing permit that was secured. And I believe this is because this place, that is Burkina Faso, was not the originally planned destination. From the information available to me, the C-130 aircraft was going on a ferry flight to Portugal, having been due for a depot level maintenance. It is a ferry flight, which means it's not the normal flight that you can just fly straight, depending on the exact condition of the aircraft. I would imagine that they must have planned stops along the way, but certainly not one in Burkina Faso. If not, they would have obtained that clearance. While I was Nigeria's defense advisor in Moscow, on any occasion that the Nigerian Air Force had to fly to any country, which I was covering, they always made a request, and I always sought and obtained those permissions. So possibly what the Burkina government in this case saw as aggression or violation of the airspace is the fact that possibly there was no permission granted before them. But like I did say, once there is an emergency, the pilot in command has what we call emergency authority, because the primacy is about the safety of lives and equipment, in this case, aircraft. We had 11 souls on board, of course, with wives and with children back home. So the primary thing is their safety, and international protocols recognize it, that irrespective of whether clearance was obtained before then or not, they are allowed to land.
All right, many thanks, former Chief of Logistics and spokesman, Headquarters Nigerian Air Force, and also a former defense attaché to Russia, Air Vice Marshal Olatokunbo Adesonya, for your inputs on the network news.
The pleasure is mine as always.
Thank you very much. Now, the Nigerian Senate this Tuesday granted expeditious approval to President Bola Tinubu's request to deploy Nigerian troops to Republic of Benin for peacekeeping mission. The deployment is in line with ECOWAS protocol and constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Details of this report will come in the course of this bulletin.
Will the Senate approve the request of Mr. President to deploy Nigerian troops to the Republic of Benin for peace mission? Those in support say aye, and those against say nay. The ayes have it.
Consideration of the President's request was the significant issue at plenary as lawmakers praised President Tinubu's quick response to restoring democratic governance in Benin Republic following the Batch coup.
This is in tandem with the thinking of well-meaning Nigerians that democracy should not be endangered.
I equally commend Mr. President for acting swiftly.
He does it in consultation with the National Defense Council. The President had done the right thing.
We provided all we could to support our brothers and sisters in the rest of Africa. So the role of the President is, again, in tandem with what past leaders of Nigeria had always done.
ECOWAS Parliament also appreciated the government of Nigeria on the intervention.
The ECOWAS Parliament asked me to convey the message of
the ECOWAS Parliament to the President through this August Senate, that what the President did was the highest thing any country could do to save democracy anywhere in the world.
Another issue of concern that featured at today's plenary is the recent hike of air travel costs, leading to a resolution to invite Minister of Aviation and other stakeholders for an interaction.
From Abuja to Lagos ranges from 400 to 650,000.
This is over 400% increment at a go. We never had it this way, Mr. President.
It looked nice on the surface, but it does not work for the airline owners. This is a law of demand and supply. The spare parts are costly. Everything is very high.
There is this intervention by the Central Bank of Nigeria, while so many airline operators were giving some consideration, some exemption, concessional rates.
In another motion, Senate asked the Minister of Education to exclude SS3 students from the latest 2026 WAEC guideline. A bill to establish National Health Facilities Regulatory Agency, sponsored by Senator Sama'ila Kaila, passed second reading.
To ensure compliance with standards and accreditation for care quality and safety assurance.
Each of these segments is self-regulating. I don't know why we are coming up with this overall regulatory body.
From the National Assembly, Lami Ali, NTA News.
The Senate Committee on Finance has postponed its earlier announced public hearing on the Ministry of Finance Incorporated Act Repeal and Enactment Bill 2025 SB 844, scheduled to hold tomorrow, 10th Wednesday 2025. A new date will be announced. The committee regrets any inconveniences and please accept the assurances of committee's highest regards. Well, you're watching the Network News. More reports when we return. Thanks for being there. Now let's talk political party matters. And Rivers State Governor Siminalayi Fubara has officially announced his defection from the People's Democratic Party (PDP) to the All Progressives Congress (APC). He disclosed this decision came on the heels of the presidential protection he received during the political crisis in the state. Kingsley Amajiri reports.
Barely 24 hours after consultation with President Bola Tinubu in Abuja, Governor Fubara is back to the state to meet with his supporters. The governor, who met with key stakeholders, anxiously waiting to know the outcome of his meeting with the president, said the decision to join the APC is anchored on the intervention of Mr. President during the political crisis in Rivers State.
Our only thank you to Mr. President is to support him. And we can't support Mr. President if we don't fully identify with him, not backyard support. So we have taken that decision today, since we've gotten the pass. Our decision today, we are moving to APC.
The latest development coming a couple of days after 17 members of Rivers State House of Assembly joined the APC now seals the consolidation of the ruling party in the state. In Port Harcourt, Kingsley Amajiri, NTA News.
And meanwhile, the Osun State Governor, Senator Ademola Adeleke, has finally ended months of political suspense, publicly declaring for the Accord Party after resigning from the People's Democratic Party. He made the announcement at the Government House of Osogbo, confirming a fresh political realignment ahead of the 2026 governorship election. Femi Afariogun reports.
As the national chairman of Accord, I hereby present officially your membership card to you.
Accord is the new political home of Governor Ademola Adeleke, as national and state executives of the party welcomed him with open arms during his formal declaration at the Government House in Osogbo. Addressing stakeholders, Adeleke revealed that he secretly defected to Accord as far back as November 6th after weeks of consultation. He explained that the party's philosophy of welfareism aligns with his administration's commitment to citizens and workers' welfare.
Today, we unveil the new platform for the good people of Osun State.
Osun voted for good governance in 2022, and they will support continuity in 2026. The mass of our people are for continuity, and Accord is our party for victory next year.
Governor Adeleke urged the people to continue to support good governance under his administration in Osun State. In Osogbo, Femi Afareogun, NTA News.
And away from political party matters, the House of Representatives at Tuesday's plenary engaged the Minister of Finance, Wale Edun, as well as his budget and economic planning counterpart, Atiku Bagudu, in a closed-door session on the floor of the House. The session, which lasted 2.5 hours, was chaired by Speaker Tajuddin Abbas. Neither the ministers nor lawmakers disclosed the issues deliberated behind closed door. It would, however, be recalled that lawmakers have recently expressed concern over delay in implementation of the capital component of the 2025 Appropriation Act. The proposed constitution amendment debate, billed to commence this week, was suspended for the executive session, with the ministers thereafter. Speaker Tajuddin Abbas announced the defection of member representing Alero Gwandu Jega Federal Constituency, Mansour Musa, who has left the PDP for the APC. At a time when access to finance remains a major hurdle for small farmers, women and young entrepreneurs, the Central Bank of Nigeria is charting a fresh course. Governor Olayemi Cardoso inaugurates a new board of the Agricultural Credit Guarantee Scheme Fund with a bold call: open the doors of finance wider than ever before. Musa Abubakar reports.
A new dawn for Nigeria's agricultural credit system, renewed promise to those tilling the soil and transforming farm produce into enterprise. It's a change of guard for the Board of Agricultural Credit Guarantee Scheme Fund, as Governor Olayemi Cardoso formally inaugurated the new Board of Directors of the fund, a flagship intervention that helps banks lend confidently to farmers.
Today's agricultural sector is shaped by climate change, security challenges, digital innovation, and expanding value chains. These realities demand a repositioned and technologically enabled ACGSF.
Created to de-risk agricultural lending, guarantees loans to farmers, ensuring that one failed harvest does not mean financial ruin. Now, under the new leadership, the focus shifts to innovation, inclusion, and impact.
If we get to a lot more Nigerians and we're efficient, we're certain that the peasant farmers that constitute 80% of the farmers really.
For the central bank, it's more than a financial intervention. It's a social mission to empower hands that feed the nation. In Abuja, Musa Abubakar, NTA News.
Now, the World Bank has approved the second phase of Nigeria COVID-19 Action Recovery and Economic Stimulus (NG Cares) with an additional $500 million. Benny Adams reports that the focus this time is on strengthening community action for resilience. The report.
4 years into the implementation of the World Bank-supported Nigeria COVID-19 Action, Recovery and Economic Stimulus, also known as NG Cares program, the World Bank today says Nigeria has done well in meeting the needs of the poor and vulnerable and therefore deserves more funding.
It's based on the request of the state governors and, of course, the federal government, an additional financing of another $500 million that will enable us to deepen the current ongoing impact that the program has achieved.
This time, the emphasis moves to strengthening community action for resilience.
As a result of this training and the changes we are making in the system, we are going to see value for money. I want to assure the federal government, assure the World Bank, assure state government that this huge investment will indeed be very, very profitable, and the poor and vulnerable in Nigeria will get a full measure.
We've been able to reach out to people. We've seen how, as much as possible, we have stabilized them.
So no matter what money has been earmarked or released for any program, if integrity is not there, it will not make any impact.
The first phase had a World Bank support of $750 million, with states investing in excess of $2.2 billion. In Abuja, Benny Adams, NTA News.
The federal government has temporarily opened the Bodoboni Coastal Link Road to the public after 7 years of massive investment on the project. Minister of Works Dave Umahi, while inaugurating the road project, assures government's commitment to completing other road projects to open up the Niger Delta region. Robinson Derataide has the details. Sorry about that mix-up. Let's go ahead now. Association of Consulting Engineering in Nigeria has opened a new window for experts in their field and other residents in Abuja to acquire landed property. Ayodeji Makinde reports that the body of professionals had a groundbreaking exercise in one of the fast-rising districts of the Federal Capital Territory.
In the heart of Wukara community in Kiami district is a geostrategically located 4.9 hectares of land. This is a dream come true for them as the aspiration to own a befitting secretariat and training school gets better with a land set to produce over 250 housing units from 2-bedroom apartments to duplexes. In addition is a multi-purpose conference center and other facilities available in modern city center.
This is not just infrastructure, it is a legacy for generation to come. I call on all stakeholders, government agencies, private sector partners, and our members to support this initiative.
We're looking at a construction period of maximum of 18 months, and we know very well that within that period, this place will be fully habitable.
Aken vows to deploy the best of engineering profession to make it an architectural beauty for the rest of Africa. Partners in this project, MGE Realty and Grand Bricks Engineering Limited, assure on durability, affordability and accessibility of the assets, which is 5 minutes from the Bill Clinton Drive and the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja.
We are committed to deliver top quality construction and finishing, transparent and timely and accountable project delivery.
The expression of interest starts on a first come, first served principle. Although there is an option of first refusal for Aken members to own a property, this piece of land is an irresistible offer to those who have signed up. In Abuja, Ayodeji, Makinde, NTA News.
Now let's head to the Center of Excellence where Hingino John Adams is standing by. Good evening, Hingino. Over to you.
Olajide, and welcome to Lagos. In commemoration of the season, MTN Nigeria Communications PLC, one of the country's biggest telecommunication companies, is spreading joy and connecting with Lagos residents through the MTN Yellow Tide. Correspondent reports that residents received various gifts. The MTN Yellow Tide train arrived on Iru with a lot of goodies for giveaways.
So people go get
Without wasting time, the residents gathered at the venue to enjoy MTN's magnanimity. It was a fair distribution process as both customers and non-customers of MTN participated in a lucky dip where everyone was given what he or she picked, from rice, noodles, vegetable oil, salt to garri. For the residents, the gesture came as a relief.
Today is a big day and a very nice day. Thanks to the MTN.
I'm really happy. Thank you, MTN.
I didn't expect I would get this because of the crowd, but I thank God I get the gifts. Thank you, MTN. Oh.
At Falomo, it was also showers of gifts as those wearing yellow or having a touch of yellow on their clothes received various items. For Stella Adeze Ogwata, Christmas came early as she received a phone.
Thank you. I'm still shocked. I'm still surprised because I was actually rushing to work and this just happened. I'm grateful.
Chief Financial Officer, MTN Nigeria Communications PLC, Modupe Kadiri, said this is part of the company's way of giving back to the society.
We believe that Nigerians have stood by us, and by the way, what is going on today is not a function of whether you're an M10 subscriber or not. As long as you're a Nigerian and you're benefiting from living in this country, anybody can come in and take a lucky dip.
Officials say MTN Yellow Tide is aimed at making the season unforgettable with surprises and shared experiences for Nigerians. That's it from here. Network News continues in Abuja after the break.
Many thanks for being there. President Bola Tinubu rejoices with the Senate President Godswill Akpabio as he celebrates his 63rd birthday today. Describing Akpabio as a patriot and a dedicated servant of the people, President Tinubu joins family, friends, associates and members of the National Assembly to celebrate his decades of exceptional leadership as governor and minister. He prays God to grant Akpabio many years of good health, strength and continuous leadership impact. Similarly, the President congratulates former Defense Minister, Lieutenant General Theophilus Danjuma, as he marks 88 years. The President, in a statement, describes General Danjuma's story as one of resilience, commitment and honor in the service of fatherland. He prays God to grant General Danjuma many more years of fruitful service to the nation. Meanwhile, Nigeria's First Lady Oluremi Tinubu rejoices with the wife of Osun State Governor Titilola Adeleke as she turns 60. In a birthday message, she joins Governor Ademola Adeleke, the children, friends and loved ones of the celebrant to mark her milestone of attaining Diamond Jubilee. The First Lady applauds her commitment to uplifting the good people of Osun State through the Renewed Hope initiative, where she has continued to touch many lives, and wishes her more years in divine health and peace. The Secretary to the Government of the Federation, George Akume, has unveiled the Nigerian Shippers Council's Enterprise Content Management System, a digital platform designed to streamline trade documentation across Nigeria's ports. Sheikh Mohammed Dati reports.
Enterprise Content Management System is designed to sweep away paper-based bureaucracy, promising a seamless, transparent and audited flow of information between shippers, regulators and government agencies, an efficiency expected to translate into economic benefits.
These features will ensure greater accountability, reduce discretionary bottlenecks and enable the Council to respond to industry challenges with speed and precision.
This transformation aligns seamlessly with the Ministry Board's agenda of improving port performance, reducing inefficiencies, and enhancing Nigerian competitiveness in regional and global trade.
While official excitement is felt, operators on the ground remain cautiously optimistic. The ultimate measure of the Enterprise Content Management System will not only be its sophisticated coding, but its tangible impact on the wallets of Nigerian businesses and consumers.
The Enterprise Content Management System being launched today is more than a technological solution. It is the embodiment of a mindset that says government must evolve.
The ECMS is a core pillar of our digital transformation agenda. It is an internal workflow and record management tool designed to eliminate the delays, manual file movement, and bureaucratic bottlenecks.
The unveiling has set the digital ledger open. The real work, the integration, and sustained implementation begins, demanding cooperation from players in the value chain. In Abuja, Sheikh Mohammed Dati, NTA News.
Now let's do some business with Benny Adams. Benny?
Thank you, Olajide. And now talking business. The large iron ore deposit of Nigeria must be fully explored to meet the federal government's revenue target in the sector through a data-driven process. Executive Secretary of the Solid Minerals Development Fund, Fatima Umaru Shinkafi, stated this at a one-day workshop on Ore Development Forum in Building a Sustainable Mining Finance Framework for Nigeria held in Abuja. Represented by the head of Minerals and Project Development Department of the fund, Dr. Martina Ananaba, the Executive Secretary noted that a sector without reliable data will not yield the desired objective.
Nigeria's mineral wealth must translate into investable, bankable opportunities through established reporting standards, financing structures, policy incentives, and institutional capacity.
Nigeria has minerals, that is not in doubt. So why is Nigeria not rich? Because those minerals have not been scientifically been qualified. It is only when you qualify that it gives value and credibility.
At what point is a miner ready to access what kind of finance? Because our miners our artisans are worried, our operators, people with licenses are worried, they're confused, they don't know what to do with their licenses.
Now we're working with NGX and SEC to create the environment that is simply replicating what happens elsewhere in the world. The three major mining exchanges are Australian Stock Exchange, Toronto Stock Exchange and AIM in London. All we are doing is looking to replicate that environment here to enable investors to invest.
The event was attended by key sector players who commended President Tinubu for a sincere commitment demonstrated in revamping the sector through the Minister of Solid Minerals Development, Dele Alake. And a quick look at the markets at this time. At the end of today's trading session on the Nigerian Stock Exchange, the South Africa GSE Top 40, the Tunisia Tune Index are all in red, giving room for new investors to cash in on the bears. A total of 947,757.652 shares in 23,006 deals corresponding to a market value of 22.692 billion were traded. The current market capitalization, that is for Nigeria, is 93.7 trillion naira. On the aggregate, 128 listed equities participated in trading, ending with 21 gainers and 32 losers. That is it on business at this time.
Many thanks, Benny Adams there. And the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Exploration Production Limited, the flagship upstream subsidiary of NNPC Limited, achieved a record production level of 355,000 barrels of oil per day on December 1st, 2025, its highest daily output since 1989. A statement by Chief Corporate Communications Officer NNPC Limited, Andy Ode, says the milestone marks a significant step forward for Nigeria's upstream sector and reflects the company's ongoing transformation anchored on efficiency and discipline. He noted that the figures show that the presidential targets of 2 million barrels per day by 2027 and 3 million by 2030 now seems to be getting closer to reality. The group CEO of NNPC Limited, Bashir Bayo Ojulari, points out that the milestone is proof that Nigeria's energy revival is not a dream, it is already happening. And stakeholders across national frontiers are coming under one umbrella to chart a new path for the nation's education sector towards attainment of measurable achievement. This was at the Nigeria Governors Forum Education Summit with the theme Pathway to Sustainable Education Financing, a synergy between the town and gown in Nigeria. Abubakar Kwanga reports.
The Nigeria's Governors Forum Education Sector Department is pulling this weight of creme de la creme in the nation's education body. And the national platform is to create more access for funding across tiers of learning institutions in Nigeria, where the renewed hope agenda has already set the pace.
Nursery is more than a federal roadmap. It is shared federal, state compact, co-design in collaboration with the Nigeria Governors Forum, state ministries, and key stakeholders. Today, I stand before you with a clear message. Nigeria's education transformation is already on the way.
In 2025, state government collectively increased education budgets
by 53%, from 2.4 trillion to 3.6 trillion naira, driven largely by a 69% rise in capital allocation. But the impact of this commitment is constrained by the execution.
Federal government, UBEC and NELFON interventions, transformative reforms, and other policies and programs in the sector is shaping conversations by stakeholders.
NELFON has opened a new doors of opportunities. Created under the Student Loans Act of 2024, it has disbursed 86.3 billion to over 450,000 students in 218 tertiary institutions.
The renewed hope agenda reforms in the education sector, some states and partners were recognized for their funding and other contributions to the sector. In Abuja, Abubakar Akwanga, NTA News.
Another break beckons. The news continues in a moment. Do stay with us. Glad to know you're still there. Now let's join Bade Adeleye for Sports Update. Bade.
Many thanks, Olajide. Now, let's begin with basketball, as it was a colorful homecoming for the newly crowned champions of the NBBF Men's Abridged League, as basketball stakeholders from across the country converged on the Mo Arena in Abuja to honor the Lagos legends at a reception put together by Mark the Ball founder, Igocha Mark. The team was applauded for their impressive run and challenged to raise the bar as they prepare to represent Nigeria at next year's Basketball Africa League.
Many of us didn't expect that they would come this far, and against all odds, they've been able to win this championship. It means that if we can put these young talents together, they can achieve anything. I have faith in them, I have confidence in them, and I know that by the time they go to Bar, they are going to make us proud.
To football now, Leonard Carl scored for the third Champions League game in a row as Bayern Munich came from a goal down to beat Sporting Lisbon 3-1 in the early kickoff this evening, while Gelson Martin's late goal boosted Olympiacos' hope of finishing in the Champions League playoffs after claiming their first victory of the league phase with victory over Kairat Almaty. 7 matches are currently live, with PSG leading against Atletico Madrid, Atalanta trailing against Chelsea, Barcelona down by a lone goal to Eintracht Frankfurt, while Inter Milan and Liverpool game is still goalless. And that does it on Sports Tonight. Let's now return to Olajide.
Many thanks, Bade, and that's it on the network news. Many thanks for being a part of it. I am Olajide Bello.